Hello, welcome everybody. We are here with the Ballard Tech Ed department to show you your first step in setting up your drafting board. And we're going to show you how to use the board and some of the other tools that we have here for you when you're ready to start your drawing section of your program. So first thing, I'm going to introduce you to the tools. So when we have you set up your drawing station, we have you go over and pick up all of these things at once. So you're not going back and forth. You may not use all of them every day, but usually you do. So you want to have enough for everybody at your table. And of course that includes our pencils, a nice sharp pencil. These are number 2, which is fine for what you're doing. When you get more specialized, you might want some harder pencils. These are 2 triangles. We've got our 45-90 triangle, and we've got our 30-60-90 triangle. We'll use these in concert with our T-square, and both alone and with one another. We can do angles about every 15 degrees with these if we want to, if we know how to manipulate them. So those 2 triangles come with us. We always get a ruler, make sure we can be accurate and measure. We like these nice clear rulers because you can see through them and it's easier to measure accurately. You always got to remember with these guys that the 0 is not the edge of the ruler. You got a line there, so you can put that right over your line and be accurate down to a 16th. That's what we're hoping you will do. The other things you need, I always like an eraser nearby. We all make mistakes and it's nice to not wear down. As you can see, our pencils, often those erasers are gone and they fall off, unless you've got a high quality one from the Iowa State University School of Engineering. So you've got your paper, you've got your T-square, and you've got your drawing board. What we want to make sure is when we draw, our paper stays in the same orientation to our drawing board, that it stays square to the board. So a couple things. Our board is a rectangle, just like our paper. We set our board so that the long edge is near us. So we want the shorter edges here. And we want to make sure when we set this up that our T-square always stays square to this side. We don't want you using the T-square out here because then it's not going to be square to your board. So as long as our paper is square to our board and we use our T-square, all of our drawing will be square and we'll be able to use our tools accurately. So we're going to attach the paper down. So we want to make sure this paper doesn't move around while we're drawing. So we have these little dots, and we're going to take 4 of these dots off of here, and we're going to use those to tape down our corners. One of the things you want to look for before you start drawing is look at your board and see, is there somebody put a hole in there, or is there some tape stuck to it? Here's a little piece of tape up here. I'm just going to peel that off. It might be something that catches my pencil and I don't want that. So if you see some of that, feel free to clear that off. If you do have a board that has some gouges or something in it, you might want to just flip it over, see how the other side looks before you go and replace it. So I've got my T-square. I've got it tied up against the left-hand side. I don't want to put my board down here, or my T-square down here at the bottom, because then I don't have enough room to really move my arms around. But I don't want it all the way up here at the top either. I'm going to be reaching across the board and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to put my paper, I like it kind of to the right hand side of the board because I am right-handed, but I'm just going to take my T-square and make sure that's tight against the board and then pull my paper down on it. So long edge is on it. I'm holding that whole thing down. I've got the paper. It's not going anywhere. It's tight against the T-square. I got my first corner down. I grab another one of these little dots, and I just want to make sure, see how this one got a little roll when I was taking it off? I don't want that. That's a little high spot there. So I'm going to scratch that one, and I'm going to get another one. Your tape needs to go down flat. Otherwise, what happens as you roll your T-square back and forth across it, those little pieces of tape are going to roll up underneath there and your paper's going to move and it's just a mess. So I got my second dot, again, making sure my T-square is tight, my paper's tight, and then I make sure my paper's flat, left to right, and I put this other dot down, nice and solid. Now we're good. We got the top. I can move the T-square. My paper's not going anywhere, but I want to make sure that I get it down flat. I don't want any folds or anything in here, so I'll usually just take my square up to the top and kind of run it down. So now it's holding the paper flat. I get my last two dots, I put them on down here. Et voila. Now my paper is down, it's square to my board, it's nice and flat. My tabs are not going to catch my T-square as I go by. Now I'm going to find the center of my paper, because when I draw, I want my drawing to be centered on here. So I need to find the center. And sure, I could grab my ruler and measure some things, but I don't have to do that. I can take my T-square and use that as a straight edge. So I can line that up on both corners and put a line. The only problem is when I do this, because of the head of the T-square, it's not down flat on the table. And so what I want to do is flip it over. So now it's flat. This side is up, so it's not going to come off of the paper. And then I'm real careful that I'm actually in the corner. If you have any guests, just put your pencil right there. And then when I get the other side, now this is a light line. This is just a guideline to find the center. I don't want to see this line in the end. And you can see in the camera, you can barely see that. Same thing coming this way. I'm going to find that corner. I'm going to find this corner. I'm going to line that up. And I like to always go left to right when I do my lines. So now I've got these nice light guidelines, and that's the center of my paper. I could measure if I want, but I know it's the center. Always works. It's a beautiful thing. So now I flip my T-square back over. What I'm going to do now is divide my paper into quadrants. You're not going to do this for every drawing, but I just want to show you how to do this so you can make sure you get good accurate lines. So what we're going to do, whenever we make a horizontal line on our drawing, we're making it along the edge of the T-square. We never grab a ruler and do it, and we never have the T-square that's not tight against the left hand or right hand side, depending which hand you are. So I'll put my pencil here on this dot, make sure I'm tight up against it. I'm going to make a little darker line on this one so you can see it. One other thing that you can do while you're drawing to keep your pencil lead from getting flat and keep your lines even is just kind of to roll the pencil as you draw the line. That keeps your lead from just going on one flat spot. So now I'm going to make a vertical line to divide my paper into 4 quadrants, left and right. One of the things you want to do is, if you've got a triangle that's big enough, just make one line. Just put this down here at the bottom. Don't start up here and then move everything down. You can see my triangle's not big enough, not quite long enough to make the whole line. So I'm going to start up here, and I'm going to put my pencil in the center there, and I'm going to come down about as far as I can. And then all I got to do is slide this. I know this is still oriented, square to the paper, square to the board. And because I've made everything square, now I can finish that line, and you can't even tell that I did it twice. So there you are. Now your paper is all set up. You've got it divided into 4 equal quadrants. You found the center. You're ready to go. Set your pencil down, and the teacher know that you are set.